So another Oscar contender is being released soon, which of course the casual audience tends to stay away from, like they're avoiding a dentist, which is unfortunate because this movie is a gem. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Real Mentor. My goal, as always, is to enhance the movie watching experience. So Green Book, we have a movie here directed by Peter Farrelly. Now Farrelly, of course, part of the Farrelly brothers, who directed a lot of the popular raunchy comedies, over-the-top comedies back in the day. We got Something About Mary, Dumb and Dumber, Shallow Hal, and others. So it's kind of interesting seeing him kind of venture out on his own for the first time and doing a movie which is completely different from what we know him. And I got to give him credit here. He's given us here a delightful, humorous, excellent movie, headlined by two great performances by Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali here, both prior Academy Award nominees. Of course, Ali won a couple years back, and this is easily one of my favorite movies this year. So here we have Mortensen and Ali here playing two characters on way on each side of the spectrum here, completely different. We have Mortensen's character who is of Italian descent. He's not quite as highly educated, kind of goes from job to job trying to support his kids, his family. And he's very street savvy, rough around the edges, but very tough individual, has done jobs as a bouncer and some work for the mob and all that. And the other hand, we have Ali here, who plays this famous composer, pianist, several doctorates in music, extremely intelligent, very prim and proper, a little bit snobbish. And one day he's about to embark on a concert tour, and he has to go into the Deep South, and he hires Viggo's character, of course, Tony Lip is his name, and he hires him to be his driver and kind of his guide and then help him protect him, because remember, this is back in 1962 here, and he's going in the South, Kentucky, Louisiana, etc. And 1960s Deep South, a black man, not a great mix, particularly in a time when this is of this heightened racial divide, racial tension. Now, there's so much to like about this movie. I was smiling ear to ear throughout. And it's funny because coming from Farrelly, you expect a comedy, and it is a comedy, different style of comedy from what you're used to seeing here. Extremely funny, and it's also part a drama. It's a dramedy, if you will, a good combination of both. And Farrelly does a great job of balancing that tone between that. Again, there's so much. It's set at the backdrop of the 60s, and there's a lot of racial issues that come about, and Ali's character has to go through, and understandably so, a lot of obstacles as he goes into the South. And they do a great job of diving into that, but there's not very heavy-handed. This movie is not about that. The main focus, and fortunately for us, is the relationship between these two characters who are so completely different, getting to bond and learn, teach each other and help each other out. And it's great. This is at the heart of this movie. This is what this movie is. There's two guys and it's based off a real story, a real friendship that lasted over 50 years. The two real life characters died months apart back in 2013 here. So it's such an interesting, great story, very heartfelt, heartwarming. The chemistry is off the charts. These guys, Mortensen alone, Mortensen's character, he's fantastic. He's completely lovable. Ali, you warm up to. He comes off very standoffish, but once he opens up and you learn more about him, how he's in a situation where, he's performing for white people, and he's seen as, of course, still seen as a black man, a second class citizen, but at the same time, he doesn't really fit in with his own culture as far as the black race at the time. So he's kind of stuck in the middle, and he's kind of having to fight through that, and Mortensen's helping through that. And it's just a great idea for a story. And it's so crafted, so well crafted. The dialogue is spot on. Again, not too heavy, because a lot of these movies can get heavy-handed, and I get it, the beat you over the head with these racial things, and which is obviously, it was a sign of the times that we are now, but it doesn't do that. It kind of hints at it, goes towards it, and then pulls itself back, and always keeping that even tone. Is still a very funny and amusing movie with some dramatic elements to it. And I found this to be just from top to bottom, 2 hours and 10 minutes. It felt like an hour and a half. It goes really, really fast because it's just characters. This is a character story, and it's great. It's a movie that I can't recommend enough. It should be nominated for Oscars. I'm pretty sure it will. It won the People's Choice Awards at the Toronto Film Festival a few months ago, and deservedly so. This is actually just a delightful film for the entire family, especially now with the season coming up. You guys, this is one you definitely want to see. It's hard not to walk out with a smile on your face. It really is. So if you guys want to check it out, let me know what you guys thought below. Comment as always. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.